What's up y'all, it's Jimmy coming you guys with another video. Before we get into the video, as always, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. And when you guys hit subscribe, please make sure you guys are hitting that notification button. Getting right into the video, I will be talking about one specific shoe. I have all three colorways that came out in the past couple months, but I want to do one video on three pairs of shoes. And the reason being is I feel like a lot of these shoes, at least the three colorways here, have a good contender for being shoe of the year. I know we're still a little bit early on to be talking about shoe of the year because there's still about like 3-4 months before we hit that December-January time frame. But I mean, at this point, right, things are wrapping up at Jordan Brand, Nikes, Adidas, New Balance, whatever shoe brand you want to add in there, because I'm not going to just say Nike and Jordan Brand, right? You got to be versatile and open to all the different shoes that came out this year. I will say Jordan Brand and Nike definitely came hard this year. They definitely showed that they are a top contender and no one is really coming close to taking their throne. And you guys saw the thumbnail, you guys clicked on the video. The shoe that I will be talking about today is the Nike Sacai Waffle, or not really the Nike Sacais, right? They're just the Nike Waffle Trainers LD, whatever the name, whatever you want to call them. But these are a very popular shoe. I don't say these got really popular about a year and a half ago when the original colorways came out. So I will say when this shoe originally came out, yeah, the shoe was an instant hit, you know, very popular. It sold out, of course, resale was high. But I think a lot of people kind of dismissed the shoe because there was a lot going on at the time with all the shoe releases. You know, this was still kind of considered like a Nike runner shoe, which honestly even now was kind of played out to some degree, right? But I think with the new wave of colors, the new style coming in, I think this is a shoe on a lot of people's radar. So in particular, in the past 2 or 3 months, like I said, Nike has dropped 3 colorways that are crazy fire. The one thing I do like that Nike did is that, you know, they had these as almost a quick strike general release, so they were available to the public, but it seemed like Nike still made them fairly limited, which is nice, right? Because at the end of the day, if you look at all the contenders for shoe of the year, there's going to be a good amount of hype to that list. I mean, and right, that list is very subjective. It's really depending on who you are. But if you ask the majority of the consumers, all the sneakerheads, a lot of the top 5 sneakers are going to be very hyped shoes. I think that's one thing that's pretty important to know, right? Because just because a shoe is hyped doesn't make it super hot. But just because a shoe is hyped doesn't mean it doesn't live up to the hype, because I feel like you have two sides to it, where a shoe can be super hype and someone that doesn't even like the shoe loves the shoe, but also a shoe can be super hype and it makes someone not like the shoe just because everyone is really loving the shoe, right? You're always going to have those people that are going to be almost like someone to disagree with you, disagree with your opinion. So, you know, I will say at the end of the day, yes, these shoes are very hyped, but they are also very fire. So like I said, Nike dropped 3 colorways. This was the first colorway to drop in the recent, at least in the past 3 months or so. So this is a Clot and Sacai collab. I mean, just looking at these colors, extremely crazy, you know, very reminiscent to the Clot Air Max 1 that they did with Nike. This is very reminiscent to the Nike Air Max 1 Clot colorway. Super clean, you know, not as versatile as the other 2 in my opinion, but this right here is loud without being too loud. There's lots of details on this shoe that you wouldn't really notice in pictures until you got the shoe in hand. And then the other 2 are the Fragment Sacai collab. So this is extremely crazy because I think this was really the first time Jordan Brand did something like this, where they paired 2 powerhouse collaborators together for one shoe, and I think they did an excellent job at that. I mean, just looking at the shoes right here, you have almost like a wolf gray. You know, whether this is wolf gray or not, I'm not too sure, but let's say we have a gray pair and a navy pair. Looking at both pairs, I mean, they are extremely versatile, you guys. The details are on point. I mean, just the little minor things, you know. I think what I really like about this shoe is, yes, it's extremely hyped. I won't say extremely hyped, but it's a pretty hyped shoe, right? That's something we cannot lie about. That's not something we can hide about. It's a hype shoe at the end of the day. But with it being a hype shoe and, you know, and resale also being pretty high for all 3 pairs, I'll say they range from anywhere 300 to 500 depending on what site you're looking at and also the size and colorway. But I mean, for them being so hyped, I feel like they're also very low-key, subtle shoes. And that's the kind of nice thing that I do like about them. Some people might like shoes that are very loud, very expressive, and when you look down, you know they are really expensive shoes. For instance, in my opinion, a shoe that I can think off the top of my head is a pair of Red Octobers. Yes, retail for them was only $170, but at the end of the day, let's be real, most people have paid resale for those, and I feel like when you look down, you know those are pretty pricey shoes. But I feel like when you look at these here, it's kind of like a shoe where you would almost think, if you know, you know. I mean, the details are there. You know, it's not just your normal Nike shoe, and especially depending on how you pair with your outfit, you could dress it up, dress it down. I think overall, like whatever colorway you're getting, the shoe is extremely versatile. And with all the details that come with the shoe, I mean, if you manage to hit on retail, I'll say that's not too bad at all. But even if you're paying resale, and yes, like I said, resale is fairly high, but if you guys are considered pulling the trigger, I would say that's not too bad, right? If you have the money and you really want the shoe, because prices only bound to go up for these. So boiling it down, do I think these will be named shoe of the year? I think for some people, I wouldn't be surprised if this was in their top 3, if not their top 1. I think top 1 might be a little bit far-fetched for these shoes, depending on who you are. I'll say for these right here, I'll put all 3 of these at least within my top 5. You know, that whole list of top 1 to 5 yet, I really haven't even made it yet. But just looking at these shoes and thinking off the top of my head, all the shoes that came out, yeah, I think these are well deserved within that top 5 range. And in particular, I would probably go with the gray pair here. I think this pair here is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, you know, the material on the shoe itself is something I didn't really mention, but the quality on this shoe is on point. The suede is super buttery, the leather is on point. I mean, just the details of the shoe are there. But let me know down below in the comments which Sacai colorway that came out this year is your favorite, and do you guys actually think this is a contender for shoe of the year? And it's gonna wrap up the video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.